Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to video 2. As promised, I'm going to be doing this every day, or trying to be as consistent as possible at least, okay? So, one day, okay? Today, this is Thursday, very, very bearish, okay? We can see that Friday's candle is already showing. This is, past midnight. I'm doing it a little late, but I'm still doing it, okay? Anyways, we can see this candle is bullish already. And with the liquidity here, this is the weekly liquidity from the beginning of the week being taken. I'm expecting to see a slight retracement into this fair value gap to actually take out the liquidity here, which I'm going to show. I mean, this doesn't really, I'm going to show that more on the lower time frames. This isn't here, it's not actually considered a fair value gap just yet because of the wick here, but there's also sell side liquidity below here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch and I'm going to show what I'm kind of talking about here. Let's switch to the 15-minute, okay? So the very first thing I want to do before anything, let's use our fib. Let's mark the high of the day, which was right here, to the low of the day, okay? So I know this looks like a lot, but the point I'm getting at is currently we are in a deep discount, okay? And we can see even here on the 15-minute that price is now creating new highs and creating higher lows, okay? It's creating higher highs, higher lows. And where would the narrative of the market be? What is the market thinking, okay? Where is price likely to go? Where is price likely to lead to? Well, we'll drop here in a second, okay? But there's liquidity above these relative equal highs, okay? There's also liquidity right here where I mark this fair value gap, but there's also liquidity above, okay? There's all this liquidity here that hasn't been touched. There's, of course, liquidity also below these relative equal previous lows as well, okay? We're going to drop down to the now 15 or 5 minute, sorry, and get a better look at this. Okay, so my analysis today, we had this high here and we had a displacement lower, okay, and that created a fair value gap. Now I would have just been paying attention to this and placing a limit order there if I was going to potentially enter. And then of course it trades. It's easy to say with hindsight, right? But of course it actually trades above that. If my limit order was filled here, okay, we'd have the drawdown for these 2 wicks equaling to about 10 minutes before proceeding lower into the sell side. Overall, like I said, we did take that sell side on the we took that sell side for the pretty much weekly range, okay? And now that all this sell side was taken, okay, we also saw a lot of displacement here after that sell side was taken. We see different kinds of displacement. Whether those are a result of non-farm payroll or not, I'm not sure. Okay, here we go to my Forex Factory 815 news driver, the ADP non-farm employment change. Okay, go there, see what happened at 815. Okay, 815 right here. This large candle, this large displacement. Okay, that created fair value gap here. There was a fair value gap here at the open. Okay, this was the midnight open. The midnight open rallied above. Okay, but the candle was a bull candle. It's a small bull candle, so it's kind of an indecisive candle. I don't really understand like what relevance it is for whether the first candle is bullish or bearish or if it's relevant at all. Regardless, price trades above it. Okay, so we have accumulation here, all this kind of back and forth, okay? But then we see manipulation here. Oh, okay, it's, this support level right here, it's now violated. So prices are now likely to continue in the opposite direction, which is anything but the truth. Either way, we have that news driver, that creates a fair value gap. And then into the 8:30 open, we have another fair value gap. So we have these 2 levels of liquidity that aren't touched for the rest of the day. Okay, here's that trade I was talking about where we then had that high, okay, this previous high, displacement lower, trades back into it, okay, and then continues lower. Now we had this really choppy movement, which ICT on Twitter talks about that being a result of the the non-farm payroll on Thursday. My friend Tolly also told me he doesn't trade non-farm payroll on Thursday, and he explained that ICT actually is going to go over that on episode 37, which I am not there yet. Okay, we have NFP Thursday here. Either way, after that, we have the afternoon session. ICT pointed out, I forget what tweet, this high, plus it's just relative equal highs in general, meaning that there's liquidity above it. That buy side liquidity is taken by the market. Okay, we have this fair value gap right here, and price, of course, wants to rebalance that imbalance. So after it takes that buy side liquidity above these relative equal highs, we can see that price continues lower and actually takes out the most recent short-term low. Okay, after that, it does begin to rally before the close, right? So we have accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and then of course rallying up before the close. All right, so let's finish this idea here of what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go back and let's talk about what my ideas for the day of tomorrow is. Okay, so like I said, we have those two fair value gaps that are above. Okay, and they're not showing here just because how I have my chart. But anyways, we had that sell side liquidity that was taken from the beginning of the week. That happened today. We can see that the candle so far, this Friday candle here, we can see that the candle is actually bullish. Now we have liquidity right above. Okay, we have, again, for liquidity wise, when we drop down to that 15-minute, we can see that daily is a bullish candle. Liquidity wise, we have this fair value gap here. We have this fair value gap here. Okay, we have this fair value gap here. All these levels of liquidity, not to mention that sell side liquidity has been taken. We have these previous lows taken. We had this level from all the way from Tuesday taken. Okay, it's Thursday. So my overall, analysis on price is that we're going to see higher prices. We're going to see price trade into those fair value gaps, trade into those different imbalances, trade above these relative equal highs that has yet to violate again after hitting those highs. We obviously see price rally a little bit before that. So that's going to be my analysis for tomorrow. I also have this little note here about kind of what I was talking about, prediction for the afternoon. I actually took this screenshot. At 225, I said price will rebalance the imbalance shown below and potentially reach for the new low that was created after the sell side violation to the left. Okay, so this low being violated, filling the fair value gap. That was my analysis. Now in the morning, I sent this text to a friend. Here's the example of what I was also explaining. Okay, and what I said to a friend, I just said price creates that New York session high with an order block and displaces lower. Price later trades into the order block. However, on my charts, I have it marked as a level of sell side that was taken other than New York midnight, but didn't at New York morning session open. Is this a news driver that created displacement at 8:15? The reason price is not showing manipulation at the buy side, because at the 8:30 open, I didn't see price trade above the high that created, which is most likely the news driver. But I'm going to have to go through the video. I'm going to have to study more. I'm going to have to continue through the mentorship. And then I also put, I was curious, like, what the bias was for my friends overall. So I just have a little note there. Anyways, this was after everything played out, okay? Here's that example of price action, and it did exactly what I said. It took that fair value gap, took that previous low out, grabbed that liquidity before, of course, rallying at the end of the day. So those lows that I called out was expected, and that's a great feeling. That's an amazing feeling, okay? And so, yeah, price will rebalance the imbalance shown below and potentially reach. And boom, it did, okay? So that's pretty much everything. That's everything that I wanted to go over. That is my price analysis for today and then going into tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow.